A water system failure that forced the entire city of Atlanta to be under a boil water advisory appears to be related to an even deeper problem within the system. We're talking about massive and expensive underground water leaks that have bedeviled the city for years. John Schierick now on all that money that is going down the drain.
It's the drip, drip, drip of the City of Atlanta's unrepaired system of antiquated, leaking underground pipes that 2 weeks ago, according to the city, ultimately led to the temporary shutdown of Atlanta's main water pumping station, a shutdown that then forced the entire city to go on a boil water alert for fear of contaminated water pouring out of the taps.
It was determined that the issue was caused by a false alarm.
Keisha Powell, the commissioner of Atlanta's Department of Watershed Management, disclosed last week to members of the City Council's Utilities Committee what the maintenance crews at the pumping station were doing that triggered that false alarm. And it all goes back to the city's underground pipes falling apart. This internal audit by the city last year revealed that underground water loss from the city's old leaking pipes amounted to about 30% of the city's annual water production, an average of nearly 10 billion gallons of water a year wasted. One of the main transmission lines serving the city was installed in the 1890s, 2,600 miles of pipes, some of which are 100 years old, resulting in underground leaks all the time all over the place.
And you watch the water run down the street and you're like, nobody can even come and hatch it.
This leak in southeast Atlanta continued for weeks last year at the very time that the auditors were preparing their leaking pipes report.
It's really frustrating. I think most Atlantans know we already have some of the highest water bills in the country.
Exactly, according to the city audit, partly because of all that wasted leaking water, Atlantans pay the second highest water bills among the nation's 30 largest cities. So Commissioner Powell told council members it turns out that 2 weeks ago at the pumping station, maintenance workers were calibrating water meters, getting ready for another water leak audit, and that's when something triggered a false alarm that temporarily shut down the pumping station.
We have been trying to improve our accounting for water loss, and in order to do that, we have to make sure that our metering infrastructure is always properly calibrated.
It was just this past August when leaks in a 100-year-old water pipe threatened to shut off drinking water to 65% of Atlanta, including homes, businesses, Atlanta's airport, the fire rescue department, hospitals. The city was able to repair that pipe without shutting off the water that time. According to the audit, Atlanta since 2003 has spent nearly $2 billion upgrading its antiquated wastewater system under a court consent decree. And as a result, there's been relatively little money left, $350 million, to upgrade the city's freshwater distribution pipes. And the audit says there's no active leak detection plan in place. Commissioner Powell said in response at the time that the city is working on a plan to upgrade the leaking pipes, but substantial progress is slow because of lack of funding. Meanwhile, she's working on making sure at least there are no more false alarms shutting down the pumps. In Atlanta, John Schierick, 11 Alive News.